Hello. That's the south of France. We're on our way to Monte Carlo. For the Grand Prix, you understand. Everything was planned to the last detail. I had the right clothes, the right passengers, and what I thought was the right boat. But unfortunately, you can't just roll up in Grand Prix week and expect to find a parking space. Bonjour, monsieur.
Bonjour.
Have you a place?
Non, oui, sorry. Est-ce que vous avez réservé?
Non.
Non, désolé.
Vous avez trois jolies filles? Non?
Très jolie fille.
Oui?
I'm sorry.
Oh no.
We are full, everywhere full.
Is there someone else I could talk to?
I don't think so. I am the port captain. If I say no, it means no. Et
How?
je suis désolé pour vos passagers.
The trouble is that the people of Monaco are surprised to find a boat like this has two 400 horsepower engines. It's only 45 feet long, they say. Surely, it should have oars. To get a boat into the harbour when the race is on, you need to be a fisherman, or rich beyond the dreams of avarice. The Monaco Grand Prix was conceived as a global magnet for the world's plutocrats.
In the old days, if you talk Monte Carlo, people meant casino. And this slightly got out of fashion. The big fortunes which used to come here were getting a little scarce. And they had this wonderful idea of a Grand Prix in the streets, which would make people talk about Monte Carlo. And ever since, this has been the major advertising feature of the city of the Principality of Monaco. If you talk about Monaco, Monte Carlo, people say, the Grand Prix or the rally.
Cars are a big noise here, but to make a big noise with a car, it needs to be seriously special. Meet the Renault Spider. I failed with the boat, but I am not going to fail with this. It may only be a £25,000 machine with an engine from the Clio, but that doesn't matter here. I think it's fair to liken Monaco to a zoo where people come to look at other people. Well, in this, I feel like the flashiest peacock the zoo has ever seen. Absolutely everybody is staring at it. But what makes this car so absolutely right for Monaco is that right now only two people have got one. Me and Prince Albert, heir to the throne in this weird and mysterious place. This fun park for squillionaires may only be 3 miles long and 300 yards wide, but there are 160 security cameras and 1 policeman for every 40 residents. Weird and mysterious it may be, dangerous it is not. Now, just to show how much faith I have in the system, this is a 500 franc note. This is my 500 franc note, which when I left home was worth about 60 quid. And I'm going to leave it on the dashboard. Now, when I get back, it will still be there. One agreeable lunch later. Told you so. These people are not burglars. This woman may have a horrible dog, but she's never ram-raided an electrical shop. This is the only country in the world with a dress code. If your helmet is not by Chanel, the police will want a word. And yet the government is offering big financial rewards to residents who buy an electric car.
Your name, it is heard in high places.
You know the other can. He bought you a wheeled Moulin-X for Christmas, and you keep it just for fun, for a laugh.
Just for fun, for a laugh.
Oh dear. I guess it beats walking. Just. You know, even if all the world's oil was suddenly turned into cheese, miraculously, I still can't see this car catching on in Monaco because they're just not that bothered about saving a few quid.
In a country where Mercedes outsells Citroën and Peugeot, this is just plain daft. And a damn nuisance.
Yes, I'm going! As fast as I possibly can. Hateful people. I promise you faithfully, this is flat out. Look, I'm sorry. What are we going to do? This is flat out. Yes. Yes. We're away. Sorry. Well, there we are ahead of me. The casino. Beyond the glittering blue waters of the Mediterranean. The people are elegant. The sky is blue. And I am in a Moulin-X Magimix.
Definitely, you need a big car to suit the look and the style, and I guess it's equal to a man's parts.
Proof of that can be seen here as the doormen of the Hotel de Paris struggle to ignore the kitchen utensil, which has come to their little world. Will they open my door? No. Of course, the main reason why you need a flash car in Monaco, and let's be honest, they don't get much flasher than this, is because it isn't simply a question of keeping up with the Joneses. No, you have to keep up with the Hackenens and the Coulthards. When you've made it as a motor racing driver, this is where you live. Nearly all the top Formula One racing drivers live here. And in case you've ever wondered why they're so highly paid, let me fill you in. A two-bedroom flat costs £1.2 million. You could, of course, rent one, but that would cost £4,600 a month. Why do all the racing drivers live here? I mean, all the waiters are rude to you in restaurants. No one ever says thank you if you hold a door open for them. You have to live in a tower block. Things cost an absolute fortune. Well, I'll tell you why. If you live here for 6 months and a day in each year, you don't pay any tax. But you try getting them to admit that, and it's a dark day for truth and justice.
It's an ideal location for travelling around the European circuits.
No, David, that's not it.
I just think that every time in between the races I have like a little holiday in the south of France before going to the next one. I go back fully recharged.
I came here for the climate and for the central part of Europe, really.
Yeah, of course you do.
It's in a very good climate. The weather is very good. Most of the time it's beautiful sunshine, it's warm.
Look, guys, if you want warm, what's the matter with somewhere like Egypt?
Here is a better social life. You can enjoy yourself much more than in Egypt.
And it's also very central, because from here you can go anywhere in Europe within an hour and a half. Something
yeah,
like
you
that.
come from Slough, Thierry.
So it's for traveling, it's also very, very good.
Oh, come on, guys. Next thing, You got to tell me you live here because you stay fit.
Having so good weather, you can also have a good training for fitness, and because for a racing driver it's very important also to train to be fit in the car.
It's very nice here. You have nice buildings, you have nice boats, you have a lot of friends because everybody is living here. It's beautiful here, and I have much closer to Fiorano for testing. So that's really a great place to be.
Yep.
And now the honest answer, tax.
Thank you, Gerhard. Of course, the other reason for living here is that once a year you don't have to commute to work because builders bring the Grand Prix circus to your door. Here, they're covering the entrance to an underground car park so the transporters can park somewhere. Here, they're building stands, which some spectators don't need, because they've paid £18,000 for a weekend in room 801 at the Hotel de Paris, Churchill's favourite spot. You get a marvellous view of Monaco too. Look, the palace up there on the hill, the harbour with all the big boats. You can even see the track. The cars come out from behind the Hermitage just down there and whiz along there. It must be 100, 150 yards, at least. It's all a far cry from those early days. Back then, drivers would very often tow their race cars down on trailers from England with just a few shillings in their pocket. Then they'd come here to the oldest casino in the world, where they'd try to win enough money to pay for the start fee, to pay for the mechanic, to pay for the garage. Be interesting to look back through the videotapes on those cameras up there and see if Frank Williams has ever been in here. He probably has, but it's almost certain that he'll have been here, to Rosie's Bar. Before the drivers became a bunch of overpaid, early-to-bed fitness fanatics, this is where they partied.
In the old days, it was very happy time. Nothing to compare with now. People used to have a race, enjoy the race, and then have big parties, you see, without getting too drunk, but having big parties.
So who was your favourite of all the old racing drivers?
Well, in the old time, it was Sterling Moss, which was a terrific, wonderful driver, and he was also a great party man too. And then Graham Hill. Graham Hill was a friend, a real friend to us. Everybody loved him. He had so much personality. He could tell so many jokes to people. A great sense of humor. He was a great loss when he gone.
So, David, exactly how fit have you got to be then to be a Formula One race driver?
Well, I saw an article recently that had Grand Prix drivers fitter than sprinters, which I can't believe that can be absolutely true, because I certainly don't train as hard as Linford Christie, but simply the fitter you are, the quicker you'll be in the car.
Why haven't you got a sweat up yet?
Because I'm dressed for the occasion. You wearing a pair of Levi's and a big heavy shirt, and you're probably sweating already.
He's going faster than me. Do you think you're pretty representative of the new breed of Formula One drivers?
Well, I like to think so, but I think probably people from the outside will probably have a better idea if that's the case. But certainly there's a whole band of younger drivers now who, although they're very focused on the job and trying to make sure they're winning, they also seem quite relaxed away from the circuits. I think that's important to have that sort of balance between the two.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
You got a sweat on there.
No, I'm just about that far away from a really very, very big coronary.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Well, I don't have any medical experience. I think you better stop there.
We're going to find Jonathan Palmer.
Yeah.
Oh, no, let's not. I did, however, find Mika Hakkinen and asked him if he was ever tempted to have a night off, to get drunk, to make someone pregnant. Sadly, he wanted to talk about the circuit.
I feel very comfortable with it, you know. I feel I'm home, you know. I know exactly this corner. I can close my eyes, I know which way it goes. I know exactly where to turn here. I know exactly how close I should go in a barrier.
How close?
Well, you can fit just a little magazine between the wheel and the barrier. And you go around that corner in fourth.
So what sort of speed?
140, 150.
Okay, swimming pool area.
And you accelerate in fourth, and the reps come in maximum, and you just touch this wall. Well, you don't actually touch it, but you go very close, and you can see it, somebody actually been touching it before. And very difficult corner, because you go so quick.
What do you think gives Monaco the glamour?
And I think the Formula One brings a lot of glamour to Monaco, because it's so special.
So why doesn't it bring it to Northampton?
It always rains in Northampton. English people are gonna hate me after this.
No, we won't. He's a good guy. There are still parties, of course, and the drivers do go to them, but only because they're hosted by sponsors, and they have to. What do you think of Monaco?
The place?
Yeah.
It's all right for a couple of days, but I wouldn't want to live here. You know, it's just too cramped and a lot of not normal people.
How do you mean not normal?
Well, I don't imagine to go down the pub for a couple of pints and things like that here, you know, and it's pretty much a ghost town, to be honest, when the Grand Prix is not on. You know, people have flats here but don't actually live here.
Yeah, quite often in Monaco you have more, I wouldn't say work, but you have to be more in parties, you have to be with the sponsors quite a bit more. But that's part of the job.
Monaco is glam though, isn't it? I mean...
Yeah, you go up the casino there and it's frightening, some of the women, isn't it? It's like, they're amazing, and the cars, the place is just full of Ferraris, and these yachts are just unreal. Like, it's sick how much money there is in the world, and I have far too small a portion of it.
The morning after, and while I was washing Disprin down with a sludge the French call coffee, some not-so-beautiful people were preparing for the biggest event in motorsport. They even turn a shopping mall into a makeshift hospital. And they continue to hit bits of metal with hammers right into the night. And right outside that £18,000 hotel room. Well, in a few minutes, they'll have done it. It's taken 2,000 people, 5 weeks, and it's cost 30 million francs. But they have turned a city, no, a country, into a Grand Prix track. Now, there are 99 fibres in my body saying, go on, Jeremy, go to bed, it's late. But there's one which is saying, go on, have a lap. Even though I had a Ducati 916, the greatest motorcycle of them all, apparently, and even though the road was technically closed, I had to dawdle for 2 reasons. First, those security cameras never sleep, and second, I can't ride a bike. The next day, practice begins, and on balconies all round the track, expats invite friends over to share the view over a Bollinger or two.
Monaco was always something different. It was quite unique. It still is quite unique. The teams hate coming here now, but the sponsors won't hear of letting them not come.
It's not bad for the spectators either.
It's the only place for real Grand Prix racing. Circuit races and town races are the true original motor racing circuits.
So motor racing, Grand Prix racing really began on street circuits?
Oh,
then?
very much so. Yes, this is what it was all about.
It's our most important event of the year. Not only in terms of sports and in terms of motor racing, but in terms of economic terms, and it's even a social event of tremendous importance.
That's all very well, but I do think we should spare a thought for the poor old Monegas residents, the 5,000 souls who were born and bred here. To make sure no one sees what they haven't paid to see, the fat-cap businessmen who run Formula One these days put up wire netting fences everywhere and curtains. We're going to deafen you. We're going to invite people here in shell suits. We're going to clog up your town, but don't you dare try to take a peek. Not surprisingly, most of them shut their schools, their businesses, their offices, and they get out of town, which, thanks to the rules on broadcasting races, is what we have to do too. What? You really thought we were going to come all the way to Monaco and not watch the Grand Prix? Not a chance.